To meet my quota on videos to do, which I've been lacking ever since I announced I wanted to do more different stuff other than trials, I want to use today's video to talk about a topic that really pisses me off for a while now and was recently amplified once more. You see, Sons of the Forest is the sequel to The Forest, and for the sake of argument, it is by far not a perfect game. However, it is still really good with what it offers. The Forest series is actually my favorite gaming series ever since 2014, as it's that type of game for me that helped me get through the toughest time in my life and prevented me from doing the thing that YouTube doesn't like hearing about. I can admit that the sequel, I had some expectations not met, but I wasn't blind to the fact that a team with only 10 people created the best they could to a sequel that had high expectations. But when I look at what other people think about the game, you would think that this game is the worst game of all time. The Forest 2.0, well duh, it's a sequel, what did you expect? And nothing more than a scam and a cash grab. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have your gripes on the game, and hell, I would gladly look forward to debate lots of the claims brought out by some reviews in a future essay video, since again, I'm passionate about the game and I would love to analyze it. But one of these claims, especially since the game's been out for a while now, just hits my nerves really hard, as it absolutely doesn't make sense and it just shows the lack of understanding for what is and isn't a live service game. Now, the whole reason why I wanted to make this short rant video is that Sons actually got updated a few hours ago from me writing the script after not being updated for months. Lots of fixes and small content additions featuring boats, which lots of people have been requesting since the game launched in early access. It's funny that some already questions for what the boats would be used for, since there's nothing in the ocean, but that's not what caught my eye. It's comments like these highlighting that this is all that was done within the last few months, or that there's finally a new update, which first and foremost, if you know anything about game development, you know that it doesn't work like that you start working on update 2 only after you doing update 1. There's always work done in the background. I always try to explain that to Outlast Trials haters and they won't listen, so whatever. But it has this undertone that Sons of the Forest was a game expected to get more updates, which is just not right. We can argue all we want that some aspects of the game need improvement, and hell, I'm with you on that in some areas, but with the 1.0 update, it marked the game full release. All updates beyond that, like the rabbit breeding one, like the small one we got a while back, and this boat one, are all optional bonus updates that should not be expected because Sons of the Forest is not a live service game. The thought that, God forbid, player counts matter in a game like this, which is a single player experience with optional co-op, and that you can throw the term dead game around it as if it mattered, is so funny to me because, say it with me, Sons of the Forest is not a live service game. This is not a problem exclusive to this game, by the way. I just decided it as my topic, as this game is a great example of this phenomenon that I'm familiar with. So many games that are never labeled to have post-release support are immediately assumed to be supported by devs long term, and the minute they realize a game is finished developing, it gets shipped as being abandoned, which, what does that even mean, bro? The dev finished their game, so what do you mean he abandoned it just because you think that the game needs this and that? And the term dead game flows around for games where it doesn't even matter, since in their mind it doesn't have hundreds of thousands of players like big titles like Fortnite do, and for some reason it matters for the game that doesn't need that amount of players. I think the live service surge of the 2010s definitely did a number on how games are perceived today, which I hope we get away from at some point, but for the time being I stay irritated. And on the topic of Sons of the Forest, I do think for all the people asking for a big update, I wouldn't be surprised if End Night was cooking a huge update in the background, but just decided not to tell, which I absolutely don't blame them for, by the way. Before the sequel was announced and the forest support was finished, people complained. When the game was delayed multiple times, people complained. And when it was released in early access to avoid another delay, people complained again. So might as well stop communication altogether and do your thing and deliver when the day comes. And no, they don't owe us communication because, again, for the sake of argument, Sons of the Forest 1.0 is done. And say it with me again, Sons of the Forest is not a live service game. Either way, thanks for watching my small rant. It for sure is unusual, but it is a small rant that I wanted to do in one way, shape or form for a while now. And since I'm stepping away from Trials for a bit since the content drought, I might as well do this video right here. Make sure to leave a like and comment if you enjoyed it, and let me know if you want to see more types of this sort of video. And other than that, have a great rest of your day and take care everyone. Bye bye.